Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ginger Broderick, and I'm the host of the Ginger New York TV show. Welcome to Ginger Fridays here at M&N TV Studios. We are live here every week, and we are starting our 6th year anniversary of Ginger New York, so thank you so much for joining in. I have a special guest today. His name is Tony Garofalo, and he is Sgt. Pepper in the Beatles tribute band Strawberry Fields. I met him several years ago when he was performing the Saturday brunch at B.B. King's, and I knocked on his door recently and asked him to come through the show. Thank you so much, Tony, for coming in.
Thank you so much. Very excited to be here.
Yay, great.
We made it. We're here.
We had it. Yeah.
Ginger, New York.
Welcome to the show.
Very nice to meet you. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you so much. I've wanted you to be here for a long time, and I've been very patient standing in line because you've had a lot of press over the last year.
We've been pretty busy. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I know you from many years ago. I went to see your band, Strawberry Fields, at B.B. King's.
Yeah, Strawberry Fields.
Yes, and you've been there for so many years.
We've been there. We just started our 18th consecutive year this past January. So,
exciting.
You know, I've done over easily 3,000 shows since the 80s. So.
Wow. Just at B.B. King's?
No, B.B. King's. You know, we religiously do 50 to 60 shows there per year. We do some night shows, but the brunch has taken off, and we just started our 18th year there, and the crowds just keep coming. And
yeah, I was there several years ago, and then I was just in last Saturday, and I tell you, it was just like the first time.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody was
great.
It was
great having you there, and
thank you.
You know, we always ask you. Do you guys come for the food or the music? And, but the food is great too.
Oh yeah, and then you made us stand up and start twisting. After the macaroni.
Well, you have to. It's an all-you-can-eat buffet. You have to work off, some of that food.
I love it, macaroni and French toast. I haven't had it for a long time, but I scooped it a little bit, and then we had to get up and dance.
But the music was pretty good, right?
Oh, wonderful, okay, wonderful. Well, congratulations.
As long as we did,
I love it.
We did something right.
And it wasn't just all tourists. There was a lot of local people there too.
I've had people. We have a mailman from New Jersey. He's seen the show. He's up to 55 times,
really?
56 times.
Really?
And they just keep coming back because, you know, you kind of change the show up a little bit every week, throw in a couple of songs that people haven't heard. I mean, over the years, we've done practically every single Beatles song.
Oh.
But you try to play the hits. Everybody wants to hear the hits, what's on the radio. And but to me, you know, each and every Beatles song is unique, it's special, and you know, they're all different. There's not one Beatles song that sounds like another one. It's amazing.
And you dress up in costumes and wigs. And when I first saw
this
you
is
the
my
first
real
time,
hair, but every Saturday I go through. We do a transition. We go from the Ed Sullivan Beatles, 1964, the first appearance in the U.S. And we move through the era of the 60s. We go to the Sgt. Pepper jackets. We wear those. Oh, yeah. We have the Shea Stadium jackets, and then we go to the hippie, era of Abbey Road, and sometimes I'll come out in a white, the brown glasses. Sometimes I'll come out in a white suit, or I'll wear an army shirt. You know, we kind of change it up. But
and then you have the Sgt. Pepper outfits too.
Sgt. Pepper jackets, and those are done by a costume maker in Florida, and they look exactly like the album cover.
Yeah.
And people really marvel. You know, the first thing they'll try to pick you apart. The first 2 or 3 songs, they look at the Beatle boots you're wearing. They look at the hair, the sideburns. If everything looks right. And after the 3rd song, they forget that we're watching guys that are imitating the Beatles, and because the music is done so well.
Oh, it is.
That they buy into the show, and they get into this trance for 2 hours, and they feel like
it's wonderful.
Let's face it, a lot of us, we never got to see the Beatles live, and people that come to see us, I mean, there are kids who are 3 and 4 years old that know the words better than we do.
Well, see, I grew up in the Midwest, and I watched the Beatles on Ed Sullivan, and I know my sisters and we were just yelling and screaming. So to really be here and hear that music, it just really it's very inspiring, very uplifting, and I bet you get a lot of compliments from people.
It's we get for me, I like to hear the good and bad. You know, I'm not partial to. Something bad, if somebody has something bad to say, or you didn't do this quite right, because it only makes it better. You'll take it into account. But yeah, the majority is, it's great. It's like watching a Beatles concert.
Yeah.
And
you have a lot of his mannerisms too.
Well, that's,
you're
over the years, I've been doing it forever. So you try to get it perfect. People are paying a lot of money to see the show. and you want them to walk out saying, you know.
Oh, it was very uplifting. All of
Yeah.
us were like singing and dancing through the whole
that's
show
great.
last week. Yeah,
Oh,
it was
thank
really
you
a lot
very
of
much.
fun. And then, you know, you had an injured finger that day, and
Yes.
then they thought that was part of the show.
They thought it was
but
part of the show. Yeah, I had a splinter in my finger, and it's one that was very deep, and I thought it came out. As soon as sound check, I put my fingers on the strings, and it was still there. So
Yeah.
I had to pick it and wrap it. It was a nightmare, but I got through the show, and people thought it was
part of the show. And I told the people
Right.
at my table, I was like,
Right.
no, he's really injured. He really needs a Band-Aid.
Feel sorry for me, my fingers, you know. But yeah, you know, stuff like that happens. Sometimes you get sick. You know, that week, you know, I've very rarely canceled the show, even for basically, you know, for a funeral in a family. But maybe 5 times in my career have I missed a performance because
Good for
you know, I'm the main guy. It's my band. You know,
God
I
bless.
produce it. I'm the owner.
Yeah.
For me not to be there, you know, it's an impossibility. So we very rarely
God
cancel.
bless.
Good news.
Yeah.
Whoever has tickets.
Yeah.
That I'll definitely be there. But sometimes you get sick or you're not feeling
Yeah.
good, you have an operation, but you know, we try to be there.
You're really, and I understand Paul Schaeffer showed up one
Paul
time.
Schaeffer
Wow.
showed up.
Tell us that story. What was that like?
We were told that, you know, I've met a lot of celebrities have come to BB King's, your comedians, rock
Yeah.
stars, actors. So one day they said, Paul Schaeffer is going to be at the brunch. So you know, we get there very early in the morning on Saturday. So we were like, yeah, okay, we've heard that before. And half hour before showtime, he peeked his head through the curtain back to the dressing room and said, hey guys, do you mind if I sit in with you and play Hey Jude, play the piano?
Wow.
I want to sing it, you know, to my nephew. So within you know, 15 minutes, we had a piano set up for, and there we are on stage at BB King's, very, you know, very off the cuff. So people who had tickets that day just happened to be there on the day when Paul Schaeffer from the David Letterman show, and he was the nicest guy, fantastic. So
Wonderful.
yeah, it was great.
Great.
You never know what's going to happen in New York.
Yeah, right? GingerNewYork might just show up one day.
GingerNewYork, that's right.
And you were really gracious about, you know.
You're quite welcome.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and then I understand you, with your band, you've got to play at Shea Stadium and Yankee Stadium. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we got the call from Shea Stadium. They were soon to approach the 40th anniversary of the Beatles playing at Shea Stadium. Now, for a Beatle act, you know, to play at Shea Stadium is like the, you know, the icing on the cake. If you get to play Shea Stadium dressed up as the Beatles on its anniversary, it was just, you know, an amazing phone call. It took a lot of time, preparation, but you know, we did it, and we did the same exact song list that the Beatles did. We had Sid Bernstein, who just recently passed last year. He was the original promoter that he brought the Beatles to Shea. Came up with the concept of having them play, you know, at a stadium, which was unheard of back in the '60s.
They thought he was crazy.
They thought he was crazy. So we did the show at Shea with Sid Bernstein announced us. We had Q104, you know.
Maria?
We had Maria there, but we had, I forgot who was there, Jerry Martyr, who's the daytime jock. Jerry Martyr announced us, Sid Bernstein, and then boom, here we are at Shea Stadium playing on the field like the Beatles. Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr came on the Diamond Vision screen and announced us, you know, coming on the 40th anniversary, and you know, to see Paul go, hey guys, I just want to say, you know, have a great show on the 40th anniversary. We love you guys, and you know, seeing Paul and Ringo, you know, separately, doing that little spiel on the anniversary was very, very you know, exciting.
How do you come down from that one? And then you actually got to meet Paul backstage at one of his shows?
Yep, I went to Barclay, and I you know, it's all, you know, tied in like to what you do, because people, you know, remember you, and so I got to go backstage after his show at Barclay in Brooklyn, and I was on the list for the VIP party. So I'm in the middle of the room with you know, all these actors, your directors, Martin Scorsese, Chevy Chase, Jimmy Fallon was there. So we're in this big room, and we're enjoying the food and drinks, and I'm the only one standing there. I had went with 3 other friends, and they went to the buffet. I'm standing there, and Paul McCartney just finished the show, had a towel around his neck, and walked out of the you know, this black door, walked right up to me. So, you know, and we started talking, and you know, they all know, you know, I met the guys in the band too, you know, the guys in Paul's band, the guitarist and the drummer and the keyboard player, and they all know what, you know, what I do, and it's, you know, to have that kind of support and say,
Yeah.
you guys are really good.
Yeah,
and,
you are.
And so you know, I mentioned to Paul that I was a 20-year New York City police sergeant, and I showed him in my badge that I had. I'm retired now, but I showed him the badge, and he said, you know, some of my best friends in the world are New York City cops.
Wow.
So I gave him my badge, and he said, I said, this is the real thing. I said, it's not, you know, chocolate, you know, with foil wrapped up. And so we took a picture, and
That's really cool.
you know, to be with him, you know, as a Beatle and be recognized as a cop too, was just
Wow.
that was really, really wild.
Hands down respect to you.
Yep,
Boy,
yep.
Tony, that's really great. We're going to roll in some photos so we
Oh,
can
cool.
learn a little bit more about what you do. So if the control room can roll in some photos so we can see some behind the scenes of what Tony goes through. Now that's the first one. Now that's what you look like during your performance at B.B. King's
Yep.
in Strawberry Fields.
That would be the later years of the Beatles. That's the, you know, the Abbey Road White Album, you know, look with the rimmed glasses.
Strawberry Fields here.
There it is.
What a great name. Ultimate Beatles tribute band, and I'm sure so many other Beatle tribute bands developed because of your success.
Yes, there are a lot of them. You know, they say, you know, only the strong survive. When you try to do something, you know, right, and you perfect it over the years, then, you know, you keep in business. And
And you guys are all really nice too,
I
and you're all
appreciate
from Broadway as well.
Yep.
Beatlemania.
Beatlemania, and you know, this tribute band thing that has become, it's really like boomed in the last 10 years. The Beatlemania show on Broadway was the, you know, aside from the Elvis impersonators that have been happening, you know, for years, the Beatlemania show is really what started, you know, the look-alike, sound-alike, and acting like, and
Good for you.
so we.
One thing we didn't mention is that you built the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang car. Now this is from the 1968 movie that starred Dick Van Dyke.
Yes, that's my car.
And you recreated that, a replica of
Yeah,
it.
that's me.
Wow.
You know, people ask, you know, why would you do this, and you know, what would make you go to great lengths, you know, to build this car? And it's, you know, it's a long story.
You were at the auto show, right?
Yes, we were at the International Auto Show right here in New York City.
Yeah, this is
at
my
the
favorite
Javits Center.
picture here.
Yeah, we were there for 12 days, and we met the governor.
Wow.
On the first day of the show, we drove in front of the governor, and he actually walked up to us while we're sitting in the car.
Oh.
You know, I was.
And it's a road. It's like a legal road car.
Yeah, it's road legal. It has seat belts. It has a horn. You know, the safety glass in the windshield. It's all, you know, up to code to drive down the street. And the auto show, that car was seen by over 1 million people.
Oh, I bet.
You know, we're told
yeah.
1 million plus, but you know, I personally shook hands with you know, thousands of people, including the press.
Oh, I bet.
Um,
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And you built this over a period of 5 years, I understand?
Yeah, it took me 5 years, a little over $100,000, and a lifetime of research and photos, and I got to see 2 of the original cars from the movie that were used in the 1968 movie, and I actually drove one of them when I was out in California, and I went to see the second one in Florida.
Wow.
And you really can't you know, replicate a car like that from the movie unless you really see it firsthand.
Wow.
And
that was
you know,
really
seeing
amazing.
it, and then you know, spending time. I spent a lot of time, you know, working in the garage, and you could see there's a lot that has to do with that car. But it's iconic, and
Yeah.
you know,
No one can believe it. I love
people
telling
see it,
people. Yeah.
it's unrecognizable.
The other thing that's interesting is that if we can hold this photo up here for a little bit, the base of that car is from the 1914 model, I
Yes.
understand.
That car you're looking at is over 100 years old. It's a 1914. It's an Overland, which was an American car company that was based out of Ohio. And I basically found it, the car that I started on was basically a rusted, you know, falling apart car that was ready for the junkyard. Basically like the car Dick Van Dyke used in the movie. You know, it was all a fable, but the car that we used in the movie was an old wreck, and that's really what I started with.
Wow.
And to transform it into that, you know, pretty much, you know, all the original hardware that was on the car was completely stripped off.
Wow.
And I basically started building from the ground up.
Wow.
So the paint, the woodwork, the stainless steel, the brass work, it's something to see, really see, you know, up front, close and personal, because when you see the detail, and we got to bring it out to Dick Van Dyke just recently this past summer.
To Illinois, my home state. So
Danville, Illinois.
yeah.
Now Danville, he mentions it quite often in the Dick Van Dyke Show, and a few movies he mentions the town of Danville, Illinois, which very few people know, just as a gag. But we had gotten a call from his publicist, and he was wanting us to come out, you know, with this car and join him in a celebration of him returning to his hometown of Danville 60 years later.
Yeah.
So we were out there for 2 days, and we were with Dick Van Dyke, his wife Arlene Silver, and we really, really had a great time. And they are two of the nicest people I think I've ever met.
And you got to drive him around town?
And I got to drive him around town, and you know, he, you know, from his own mouth, you know, he was standing in the car, you know, standing up, looking at all the work on the car, and he says, "This is an exact copy." And we, you know, we were so not only excited, but we were so proud to be with him and to be able to spend, you know, quality time. I mean, he is not only a celebrity, but he's
iconic.
He's iconic, and you know, to be with him and talk and hear all the stories and, you know, the anecdotes about what it's like to be an actor, and you know, we sang together too.
Look at that!
You know, we're sitting in the car, and
yeah.
It was really, really something special. And you know, I just want to say thanks to Dick Van Dyke and his wife Arlene, because you made a dream for me come true. You know, to build that car. You know, the fascination with this movie started when I was 4 years old. I saw Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
I was just going to ask you, what gave you the idea?
I saw Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. My uncle, my mother's brother, worked for United Artists, and he was a stagehand, and he was involved in productions for United Artists, and coincidentally, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was being released, and he actually had the car at the warehouse, so he got us tickets for the premiere showing of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Can't even imagine.
It was at Radio City on 6th Avenue, and the car was parked out front, and the cast were there, you know, the opening night.
I can't imagine it.
So for a 4-year-old kid seeing this magical car, I was fascinated with it, and it lasted me from that day, you know, to present day. And I told my mother for years that I was going to build this car.
You're crazy, my son.
Yeah, yeah. She passed on in 2005, but I was able to, you know, when she passed away, you know, I still wanted to keep that dream and that promise, and I built the car, and then we brought it out, you know, to Dick Van Dyke. So it just, you know.
That's really wonderful. We have a small video that we want to roll in too.
Oh, chitty, chitty, pretty chitty, bang, bang, chitty, chitty, bang, bang, we love you. And chitty, chitty, bang, chitty, chitty, bang, bang. What we'll do, near, far, in a motorcar, oh, what every time we'll spend. Bang, bang, chitty, chitty, bang, bang. I'll fight for friends and friends. Bang, bang, chitty, chitty, bang, bang. I'll fight for friends and friends. Woo, woo. Okay.
He's actually sat in since the movie car.
Wow.
So that's another thing that we were really taken back, that we were, you know, we had him for, you know, for that amount of time at such a special
And it was a whole weekend
special
event,
visit.
right?
Yeah.
Right? They did a whole
Yeah.
celebration for him in the town.
What they started is the Dick Van Dyke Foundation, and they're refurbishing his childhood home. So we have photographs of the car sitting in front of his home. They're refurbishing it, and they purchased some properties that are surrounding his old home. Essentially 2 years it was a tear down. So they're rebuilding it. They're going to open up a museum, and the foundation is providing scholarships for entertainers and for singers.
Wonderful.
And they're going to be handing out checks and scholarships to kids who want to be actors and dancers and singers, and the whole town is involved. The mayor, Scott Eisenhower, is a fantastic guy. He is the mayor of Danville, Illinois, and he does anything he can to get this off the ground, which is really a lot of work.
Yeah.
And Mr. Van Dyke's publicist, Lance Kirkling, he's also a fantastic guy, and our good friend Todd Regan. They're all involved in the Dick Van Dyke Foundation, and getting this off the ground along with Chitty was this weekend was like a springboard for that, and it's they're building the house now. As we speak.
Wonderful.
They're working on it.
Yeah.
So it's really
Well, I had followed you for a long time, and I almost fell out of my chair when you unveiled that car. And then a few months later, when it came up that you were going to be driving Dick Van Dyke around town in Illinois, I mean, all of us in town were just like so thrilled,
And there's a movie. There's a movie that's in the early stages now, but it's a documentary, and it's about Dick Van Dyke and his return to Danville, and it's called Welcome Home, Dick Van Dyke, and the car is in the movie.
Good for you.
Little cameo shots of us driving him, but it's essentially about his return there and the reactions to the. These are people in a very small town, and seeing this like mega star, come off a plane and come to their small town and visit his original home as a child. It's really something to see. So it's a documentary. It's about a half hour long. I don't know if it's going to be elongated into a longer movie, but it's out now. It's going to be released probably towards the end of the year. But we also have a 50th anniversary of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Wow.
Coming in December 18th. 1968, so we have another year and a half, 50 years, so who knows what's going to happen.
Wow.
Can't let out any surprises.
Well, I was just going to ask, can you give us a little idea of what's going on? I mean, I promise I won't say anything, but we love to hear the news.
It's
insider news.
50 years. I mean, to start it off, the movie, Welcome Home, Dick Van Dyke, and the Mary Poppins. Poppins movie, there's a sequel, and Dick Van Dyke has a cameo role in Mary Poppins, which you can't get better than that, which is very, very exciting. And then that's scheduled to come out around the same time as the anniversary of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. So I
Did
think
you
there's a lot of
imagine
good
all of
things.
this would happen when you were building the car?
No,
It was just a dream.
It's calmer. It's a lot of my friends and family thought I was crazy at the time when I was building this car, because I had my own fascination with the movie. Besides the Beatles and besides police work, I have a lot of hobbies, wear a lot of hats. So when I started to really,
really smart.
Yeah, I try to be the best at things that I do, and I try to give it 1,000%. And Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was something I really wanted. It was
unimaginable.
Mount Everest for me. A lot of people have their certain things they want to do in life. This was my Mount Everest, and as silly as it is, yes, it does fly. It has wings that expand and retract, and there's wings on the front and back, and the car measures over 18 feet long.
I was reading one of your interviews, and someone asked, does it float too?
Yeah, does it float? You know what, I'm working on that. But the rear of the car is actually built like a boat.
Wow.
It's constructed.
Yeah.
If you look in the, I have pictures from the early stages. It's actually built like a boat. It's the only way I was able to do it. You couldn't fake that. That structure.
So amazing. And where is it now? I mean, it's museum quality.
It's been in the auto show, as we said. It's been featured in the New York Times. We had a tremendous write-up last year. It was 3 full pages, in the New York Times. And the Dick Van Dyke. It's been in the Concours, Delagon show in Manhasset, and we were offered over $1 million for the car already. But it's not for sale.
That would be hard to say no to something like that.
Once again, my friends and
Yeah.
family, it's like, what are you, crazy? You know, you offered was 1.2, 1.5 million for this car, and it's, you know what? At this point, it's such an enjoyment. The fact that it was a tribute to my mother, and the fact that
especially,
yes, and the fact that it brings, you know, the smiles to so many people,
yeah.
like the Beatles every weekend.
Yeah.
You know, it's about, you know, giving it back.
You know, I've enjoyed telling everyone that you were coming here on the show today, and the reactions from people.
I was very excited to come today, too.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
I was sitting, I really sat patiently waiting, you know, in line for all the, you know, so thanks for freeing up your schedule to come through here.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Next time I'll bring my guitar and we'll, you know.
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
sing
learning
a
the
few
guitar,
songs.
right?
You know, you told me that. So,
I'm hitting my year anniversary on it, yeah.
That's very exciting.
Yeah, it's been hard.
You know, there's so much to learn with guitars.
So much.
There's so many chords, and you can just keep going on and on.
Incredible.
But don't stop, because it's it's like any other thing that you want to do. If it makes you happy, and you know, it's not hard. It's a language. Music is a language.
Yeah, it's a language.
And it is universal. You can bring that guitar to any country in the world.
I'm learning to sing. Yeah, I'm taking some voice lessons. Yeah, I'm getting out there. You know, I want to be a rock star by the time I'm 60. I'm working on it.
Well, you're already a television star. You're already a television star. So
it's the next step. What's on the line down the road for you, Tony? Do you have any other like dreams or goals or ideas that come about, or are you just kind of, you know, kind of floating for a little while?
It's really the car guys, because Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is what started. I mean, you know, like at the auto show, we had a lot of people walking up to us, a lot of car guys and hot rod guys, and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is what started them on their quest, you know, for building and fabricating.
Wow.
So it's the car guys that ask me, so what's next, Tony? You're going to build a model of Air Force One?
Oh,
you know,
wow.
You're going to build a replica of the Batmobile, whatever.
Yeah, there you go. That's a great idea.
Right now I'm working on the stage musical car. I own the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang stage musical car that was used on the North American Canadian tour. So I have that car. I'm in the process of doing the automation because it was taken out of service. I've owned it for a few years, but I'm going to get it all wired up and you know, the wings retract, and this was the full car that, you know, came over the stage, and very exciting with that. So, you know.
Wow.
That's really what's next right now.
Thank you so much, Tony, for coming in.
We love you.
Oh,
thank you.
I love you too.
Ginger New York.
Ginger New York.
Thank you so much.
Tony Garofalo, thank you so much for joining in.